Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 8 of the Checkerboard Podcast. We have an extra co-host today, guys. Obviously, we got our good bro Liam here. Liam's
What's
always
up?
chilling. But we have the GOAT himself. Gunner's officially here, dude.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
He is on his phone,
We're out here on the
so...
checkerboard.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off there. He is on his phone for this episode, but... He's going to be joining us for these next few Breaking Bad episodes, and then we will have a whole Gunner dedicated episode, because, you know, we gotta have a whole interview with my bro, but, yeah, he's officially here.
What's going on?
Dude, I love the fucking... this is kind of off topic, but, like, have any of you guys seen those, like, fucking Hank Schrader memes?
I know,
Where
I was gonna
they're
put that...
funny,
Goof
bro.
dunk.
Dude, that was
You
literally what I was gonna
sussy
put
gussy.
as, like, the icon for today, but I couldn't find, like, a transparent one, and I didn't feel like photoshopping, so...
Nah, that's fair.
But yeah, guys, so today we're going to be covering Season 3 of Breaking Bad. I only made it up to the Fly episode, so that's what we're going to be covering to. But next week we will finish, like, the last 3 episodes, or 4, however many it is. And then we'll also do all of Season 4, hopefully. If I do make it up to that point, which I should. But anyway, Gunner's going to be starting us off here with No Moss.
Alrighty, so let's get right into the news right here. Alright, so starting off season 3, episode 1 is called No Mas, okay? So it picks up right off the bat here in Mexico. Like you can already tell they're in Mexico when the color grading turns super warm. It's like they turn the orange slider all the way up because everything looks orange.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Anyway, so they're just like we're in this like village, I guess, in Mexico, and then the camera just shows like a bunch of people that live in the village like kind of crawling on their like chests, like literally like army crawling, like up this dusty road. And then like a super nice car, which is kind of like it's kind of the opposite of what is going on in the village, like a super wealthy and we already know like it's from like the cartel, bro. You get those vibes. And then two men exit the car, and they're both wearing like super like drippy suits. You know what I mean? Like you can tell these guys are from the cartel. Like something's off with these two.
Dude, they got the skulls
And
on
they
their
have-
shoes.
Yeah, they have silver skulls on the tips of their cowboy boots. And these two men join the other crawling people all the way up to like a shrine, like a candlelit shrine right now. So, and then, which I guess, yeah, it's beyond me, but from what I'm reading, it's from a Mexican like deity, which represents death, is at this shrine. And then the two men stand up, and then they make an offering, and then the other one pins a picture to the shrine, and the picture looks like Heisenberg, looks just like Walter, which is crazy. And then it cuts to the opening. You know what I'm saying? Alright. That kind of like shocked me when I first saw it. I don't know about y'all.
Dude, that intro was kind of weird, bro. I was like, well, dude, why are they crawling?
Dude,
Like,
I don't...
I
What
wonder if
was
that's
a
actually
weirder
a different
intro,
one.
that or the little fucking Mexican song in Season 2? The
Uh,
little fucking
Dude, the
mariachi
song was
band.
kind of lit though. I
Dude, the
was
song
kinda
was lit, though. The fucking mariachi
Yeah.
band singing about
Mhm.
fucking meth. Love those guys.
yeah, that was an
Mhm.
interesting one. Dude, the fucking Walter White shrine. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right. So after that little intro bit, we cut to like there's a bunch of news coverage about the plane crash, and Donald Margulis has been plastered all over the news saying, oh, he's like grief stricken over his daughter's death, and then basically giving everyone the rundown of like what happened. Um, but yeah. So and then Walter's kind of like watching it and realizing like, oh shit, I had a part to play in this. Bro fucking puts all his money on his grill and lights and sets it on fire. I'm like, damn, bro's feeling mad guilty. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah. So he fucking and then he like he lights it on fire and then he's like, oh shit, and he dumps it all in the pool, and he like he acts rashly and then he's like, oh shit, I can't do that, and he saves his money, but it's all like singed and stuff. So the money's all like the edges are burnt. So that's what's going on with Walter right now. There's a little bit of turmoil in his marriage with Skylar. So Skylar's been meeting with the divorce attorney, who has been basically like he's trying to like get them to like get Skylar so that she can have the kids in this divorce. Um. Anyway, Skylar is saying that Walt's gonna be moving out, and then when Skylar's like pressed about the how like they stay afloat with the finances, Skylar like locks up and is kind of like doesn't know what to say, and then the lawyer says, "You'd be amazed what I've seen partners hide from one another." So there's a little bit of like some tension there, and this literally whole part with the lawyer, I just think it's kind of crazy because we'll get into it later, but just like what is revealed between this lawyer and Skylar, and then like what you guys know what I'm saying, like later on in this season.
Oh
Yup,
yeah,
yup, yup.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, now we're moving back to the White residence right now. So, Walter's getting his stuff. He's moving out, and then Hank visits him to help move himself out, and is getting the rest of the rest of his stuff. He pulls up just as he's getting the last of his money. So like if there was some overlap, that'd be kind of awkward. But yeah. Anyway, Walt then fishes that eyeball out of the pool. I don't know. I'm not too sure what that's like. Maybe it's just like a token of like his like guilt. The eyeball, like maybe like I'm not sure. Maybe you guys have better insight than me, but he takes the eyeball with him. Um. Anyway, Hank goes to grab like the duffel bag with all of his cash,
Oh, I like this.
and they're
scene.
kind of like wrestling with it, and then Hank is like, "What do you got in there? Cinder blocks?" And then Walt literally looks him in the eye and says, "$500,000 in cash," and Hank is just like, "Ha ha ha!" Very funny. That was a cold moment, bro. I watched that and I was like, "Damn, that is crazy."
Oh, dude,
That is
I love
Dude,
that.
that moment
he's
was
crazy
like
with that.
chill. Not for real, bro. Dang. Anyway, so we're moving on. So Jesse's at like the rehab center right now, after like all that stuff that happened with like Jane, and he's trying to transform himself, and we just see him there at the rehab center, and then so let's see what's going on the next day. Okay, so next day, Walt is at like his new apartment that he like just recently moved into after he moved out. And then Walt is basically like calling him, and like Walt Jr. picks up the phone and is pretty much upset that he doesn't know what's going on. Um, and he's just kind of like, what the hell, like, you know what I'm saying? And then Skylar doesn't want um Walt to have any contact with the kids, but he basically just kind of like went behind Skylar's back and was like, just take me to school type shit, you know what I'm saying? So they do, and there's like a moment between them. Anyway, later on, Walt receives a one-word text that is Poyos. So there's some shit going down at Los Poyos Hermanos for um that we'll get into later. Anyway, back at the high school, there's a assembly basically to like to I guess like discuss the tragedy that happened. Um, and then Walt is kind of like uncomfortable, so Carmen makes him talk, and basically it's really awkward, and he's basically just like, look on the bright side, and like saying that
Dude,
there have been worse disasters, we should just move on, and which was kind of crazy. I I find myself cringing in this situation. I'm not even gonna lie.
dude, no, I was too. I'm like, okay, Walt, dude, I think you gotta wrap it up, buddy.
Not factual. Dude. That's facts. Anyway, now we cut back to in Mexico. We're back in Mexico right now, and we're at this like old farmhouse, and then these two men approach like this I guess a family's home with a clothesline, and then there's like a young girl and her parents, and they that watch these two men from earlier in the intro basically exchanging their clothes and just putting on common clothes, like, and they only keep their gun in their cowboy boots. Anyway, they deposit their keys to their Mercedes on a goat horn, and they walk away. So basically, they have like a goat horn that's set up like, I don't know, as like a decoration. They basically just put their keys on their nice car there, and they just walk into the desert. So we're kind of like, what the hell's going on? So yeah, we're a little bit, you know what I'm saying? We're on edge here. Like, what are these two brewing? What are they cooking? Type
What are they
shit.
cooking,
You know what I'm saying?
dude?
Yeah. Anyway, Walt drives Walt Jr. back home, and then Walt Jr. asks why Walt doesn't come into the house, and then he's like, you know what I'm saying? Then he like type shit leaves. Junior fucking freaks out at Skylar. He's under the impression that she is like beefing with like there's some shit and it's her fault like that they're beefing. I it's funny I say that when they're like having a problem with their marriage. Anyway, Marie Marie is like Ms. There, I guess, and then she like reasons she like gets and like figures out that like that Junior's anxious because like nobody's telling Junior shit about divorce, you know what I'm saying? And then Marie's kind of like, hey, wait, I kind of don't know either. And then and then and then Skylar kind of just says, you just need to be supportive without fucking trying to get this answer out of me. So there's some tension going on from Skylar, you feel me?
Yeah.
Anywho. And then we're back at Jesse at the group therapy session, and then he's blaming himself for Jane's death and the plane crash. Can I feel really bad for Jesse in this situation? Anyway, he so the group leader asks, "Have you ever really hurt anybody?" And he's shocked when the group leader admits that he accidentally kills his own daughter while intoxicated. Which I read this and I'm like, holy shit, that is a crazy fucking like a reveal right there. And then Jesse is like, how do you not hate yourselves? And then he goes, I did for many years, but guilt and self-hate stands in the way of true change, which is kind of interesting. Like I kind of feel Jesse, like how the hell do you get past that? You know what I'm saying? Like if you accidentally do that and you're like to someone you love, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn. Anyway, Skylar then visits Walt in his new apartment and surprises him with the divorce papers, but he's like, hell no. And then he resists the fucking papers, and then he accuses him of being a drug dealer. Skylar is trying to crack down on Walt right now, and then brings up the Jesse and all that stuff and like the medical marijuana stuff. And then Walt then like admits that he cooks meth, and then refusing to hear his like reasoning and like rationale. Skylar promises not to tell Hank or anybody, but only if he grants the divorce and stays away from the family. And then she fucking dips. Like out of it, like so. There's like this ultimatum right now that Walt has to deal with. So then Walt picks Jesse from rehab. Jesse, wait, hang on, sorry.
You're good.
Dang. Anyway, Jesse basically thinks that he's responsible for Jane's death and playing grandpa. We all knew this. And then Walt is trying to like comfort Jesse and like, there's just a bunch of minor factors that all play together to it, and basically trying to like get Jesse, oh, it's not your fault. And then Jesse goes, you either run from things or you face them. And then he's like, I'm the bad guy, which is kind of crazy.
Dude, Billy,
I kind of feel bad for Jesse in this moment, but yeah. Anyway, Walt pulls up to Poyos because he got that text and meets with Gus, and he has great respect for Gus, but he decides to stop cooking meth. In response, Gus offers him $3 million for 3 months, and Walt's like, hold up. But he still declines, stating that family means more to him than any money that he can make from drugs. So we kind of left with this cliffhanger between Gus and Walt. Anyway, we cut back to this farm truck with bales of straw going through the desert. But inside there are the two men sitting with a group of undocumented immigrants, basically being smuggled across the border. Anyway, there's a young man in there that's bragging about that painted cars for the gangsters, but he clams up but he freaking freaks out when he notices that there are the skulls on their boots. So he knows something that we don't know.
Doesn't know.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it cuts to the front of the truck, and there's gunshots in the back. The truck driver stops to investigate. Anyway, he flees when he finds these two men that have killed everybody inside. The two men from the very beginning killed all these people inside of this truck, and basically fucking murder the truck driver and everybody, all the passengers, and then they basically explode. They blow up the truck, and then they walk into the desert. Badass type shit. So that's the end of we're kicking off season 3 with a banger, bro. This episode was kind of crazy. It got me hooked, honestly. This shit got me even more hooked. But yeah. What do y'all think about that episode?
That episode was fucking crazy.
It was a good introduction. I actually I really like this is something that they do a lot, and it's what I would like to say is unconventional, and that's probably one of the best things that I hear about Breaking Bad is like how unconventional the way they do storytelling is. Because I love the fact that they kind of use these very weird scenes that don't necessarily answer questions, but also do answer questions to kind of break the pace. And they use these weird scenes of bros crawling in the desert and fucking, just slapping pictures of Heisenberg on death shrines and stuff like that. Like they use these very subliminal messages to kind of be oh, what's gonna happen? Ooh. And dude, I love Vince's directing style so much. It's fucking phenomenal, and it's the same thing that happened all last season with the plane, except now it's a looming threat over Walter's head. And I mean, the last one wasn't that. In season 2, it was not that. It was just what the fuck is going on? And this is kind of the same thing, except now we know right from the get-go that there's an immediate threat on Walter's head. We just don't know we don't know what these guys are capable of. We don't know what their origins are. We know nothing. So I fucking dig it. It's just with that alone, all the drama, the typical white family drama and the Hank drama, all that's great and stuff like that still. But I just like pointing that out more. I love Vince's directing style.
Yeah, I really like this episode. It's I don't know, that is fucking interesting how they introduced the twins. I kind of was bro, who the fuck is this? And I remembered, I'm oh fuck, I remember Tuco mentioning those twins, literally that episode. Not I was dude, when are they gonna show up? Because I thought they were gonna be here by now, but I didn't expect these twins to be fucking hitmen, dude. Holy shit. And then they just burn the fucking thing down. God damn. But yeah, that's, I don't know, it's a pretty good start to the new season. I like it. But I like the next part of this next episode. There's a pretty good part.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna
Sir Gunner? You ready to roll in with episode 2, my mans?
Do we lose him?
We might have lost him. I think he's muted. I'll just start rolling with it, and if he comes back, I'll let him take over. So, episode 2, I'm not even gonna attempt at saying those words. I don't speak that language.
Caballos en nombre.
Based. Thank you, good sir. All right. Anyways, so this episode has one of the. Well, I love episodes that open with Walter just fucking vibing to some music. I don't know why, but it always reminds me of just. I promise you that this is worth it, and it's not this is not as awful as it seems or sounds. But look up on YouTube after the stream. Look up Peter Griffin it's the end of the world stroke scene. I know that sounds really dumb and unrelated, but I don't know why, but every time Walter White is singing to himself in a car, that is what I think of. But also Family Guy has corrupted my brain, so. But anyway, he's just driving, he's schmooving, he's still got like a crack in the windshield from the plane crash. And then police officer pulls him over, is like, "Yo, son, yeah, that windshield kind of fuck, you know what I'm saying?" And Walter's like, you can't do this to me. I'm a victim here, and you're a little poopy police officer, poopy police officer," and is like yelling at him and screaming and pissing and shitting himself. And then the cop's just like, "Okay, dude," and then pepper sprays him, and then thankfully Hank can get him out of that sticky situation. And then Saul after all that, like, he goes to Saul and shit like that, and he's like, "Hey, I don't think Skylar's gonna be a problem. I don't think she's gonna say anything for for her own sake and for Walter Jr.'s sake and stuff like that." And then not Walt. Saul basically just tells Walt, like, "Hey, let's get you. You got to get another woman. We got to get you out of this bitch. We got to get you away from here." And then he calls the kid named Finger, Mr. Mike himself, and then he just starts stalking the white residents. What's up?
No, I was just laughing. He's like, "Yeah, he calls the kid named Finger."
Dude, that's what I'm always gonna fucking call him, because of fucking Better Call Saul. That's just what I'm gonna call him now. Oh, is Gunnar back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, he's back.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right, I'm at the part where fucking we're at the part now where Saul fucking finesses Jesse's parents in the
Dude,
that part is a banger.
This is the part I was talking about.
You want to take over?
No, you can finish it up. I'll get IFT.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I fucking love. This is like probably one of the most. This is like the biggest pop-off moment of Breaking Bad for me.
Such a good part.
So Jesse Pinkman stops by his old house. He sees, like, his parents are selling it. They like just renovated. They renovated the whole house, all new, all bold, brand spanking new. Like, dude, I think they said that they dumped like $500,000 just into the repairs or some shit like that. They put a lot of money into that. And then Jesse's like, "Yeah, sure, yeah, very nice, Raji." And then so, skip over a little anime time skip to the later that day, and we see one Mr. Saul Goodman talking to all the people, to the guy who's selling the house, to the two parents. And I'm like, okay, dude, every time this motherfucker's on screen, he says something based in Pog Pill. So I know that this is going to end fire. He's talking to him. They're like, "All right, yeah, I have a very interested client who wants to remain nameless," and stuff like that. I'm like, "Oh, my goat, Jesse Pinkman." And then they're like, "All right, we're going to offer you $400,000 in cash for the $875,000 home." And everyone's like, "Get the fuck out of here. We're not dealing with that weak ass shit." And everyone dips. And then fucking my goat, my G, Saul Goodman is like, "Oh, damn, son. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable considering there was a meth lab in that house at one time." And then everyone's like, "Oh, hold up." And then they just slowly, just sadly shuffle back over to their seats and sit back down. And Saul's like, "Yeah, that's what I fucking thought, bitch." He's like, "Damn, son, wouldn't it be kind of crazy if someone told the police, so you could take my $400K and nobody has to know about this, or somebody can know about this?" And my bro gets the deal. My fucking goat. Fucking love Saul, man.
Too easy.
That was such a good moment.
Too fucking easy. And then after that, so yeah, Jesse owns a house now. Just W's for my goat right now. You love to see it. And then just kind of more Oh wait, do I get to talk? Oh wait, this is a perfect segue into my I hate Skylar rant.
Wait,
Skylar White rant.
wait, you forgot the one part where he goes into the house. Like, remember?
Oh yeah, like when they're selling it, like, oh yeah, the fucking homeowner's gonna be here soon, and Jesse's like, yeah, you're fucking looking at him. Give me the keys, bitch. Hand them over. Hand them over.
Back.
Dude, that was a good part.
Fucking king shit right here, dude.
Too good.
But yeah, now we're back on to fucking White drama and shit like that. So, all right, so yeah, Walt Jr.'s still like, Mom, stop being a bitch, and he's being based, and we love him, and Walter Jr. is my goat. And then so this is where my furious hatred for Skylar White comes in. The happy birthday, Mr. President thing. Well, I mean, actually, I don't even know if that happened yet, but that shit was already fucking cringe.
Wait,
She's
was
already
that last
fucking
season?
cringe. That might have been. I don't fucking remember, man. I just know that I hate this bitch, and that shit was cringy as hell, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But I know it wasn't this episode, but like that was like strike one. That was like fucking strike one. And then she finds out that Ted is like fucking around with the IRS. This bitch has the fucking audacity to be like, fuck you, Walter. You're a fucking criminal, and I hate you, and you can't be around my kids, and you're dangerous. And then Ted's like, don't report me to the IRS. Yes, Ted Sama. Shut the fuck up, This bitch. Okay, hold on. Literally, Skylar White is in an elite tier that I have invented just for Gabby from Attack on Titan, that I call the Gabby tier of characters that I feel like they're trying to make me like. Like, they go out of their way to make quote unquote valid arguments to make me care about this bitch and make me like her. Hell no. Fuck Skylar White. She's fucking awful. And the fact that she's like, well, okay, you could talk about, like, if you want to make a discussion that tax fraud is, that tax fraud is worse or better than selling drugs, I don't give a shit which one you think is worse. I literally do not care whatsoever. But, like, the fact that she is literally kicking Walter out of her, like, whether or not, like, regardless of where he's at, Walter's motives started pure. Do I think he's kind of, like, gotten a little more insane? Absolutely. But, like, his motives started pure, and like, Ted's motives were pure as well, I fucking guess, or whatever. But, like, she went along with it. She's a hoe. We fucking hate her, and she's a bitch. And, like, look, man, I'm gonna say it. I know, like, they fucking talk about it. I think that, like, fucking Marie or something like that says it too. I don't think Ted's hot. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't think he looks that. I don't think he's a very hot looking guy.
He ain't all that.
Dude, yeah, I think if you want, like, I think that fucking, like, like, Brett Favre is a more attractive, older looking rich dude than that guy. And I don't even think Brett Favre is that hot of a dude either. I mean, I don't even know if, like, if my opinion counts on that, but I'm just throwing that out there. Fuck Ted too. Ted's a fucking bitch. And then Walt, like, on his king shit, just trying to be nice, trying to piece shit back together, brings home a pizza pie, and then she's like, shut the fuck up, Walter. I want to fuck Ted because I'm a fucking hoe. And then he throws the pizza on her roof, and it was very based. And then later, Walt breaks into the house while the kid named Finger is drilling a hole into his back wall, and is like, hey yo, I'm gonna put this security camera inside the fucking walls. And then they're like fucking spying on her and shit like that. And then the dude breaks into his house to take a shower, and this dude's just singing again. Episode starts, he's just singing his tunes. Episode ends, he's just singing his tunes. Also, I think Walter White has a pretty cool singing voice. I like his singing voice. It's not good by any means, but I like it. It's nice to listen to. And then the fucking dudes who are like, crawling on the grounds and driving all around, or just fucking sitting on his bed, axe in hand. And then fucking Gus is like, yo, what the fuck are you two doing? What the fuck? Get to the chicken shack. Come over to the chicken shack, bozos. And then Walt walks out of the shower, and then the dudes aren't there anymore. Kid named Finger's gone, and shit, man, that's the end of the episode.
This episode was crazy, bro, because he was literally so close to dying.
Facts. If he literally
Like-
wasn't taking a shower, bro would have been dead.
Dude was seconds
Yeah.
away. He was so close.
Facts, dude.
Like, holy fuck.
No, now here's
I
the
was so
question though. If Mike knew, do you think Mike could have taken those two out?
Definitely, bro. Mike is a crazy.
I don't
guy.
know-
Like,
I don't know
we're
his
gonna
skill.
find this out later.
I don't know his skill set quite yet, so I couldn't tell you that.
Gotcha.
Mike,
I think Mike wins. I think Mike wins, to be honest.
Mike,
If Hank
Mike
wins,
Solo.
I think Mike wins.
Oh, I guess it's true. Yeah.
Sorry to spoil a little later into the season, guys, but I hate to break it to everybody. If Hank wins this, fucking Mike craps on these two, dude. Mike solos the Breaking Bad universe, probably. If you put all of them in a room together, and like every single one of them had no weapons, like there was like one gun in the middle of the room, and everyone else was closer than Mike, Mike would still win somehow. I don't know how, but he would.
Dude,
IFT.
Mike is crazy.
Facts. Kid named Finger.
Shit, now we are on to the craziest episode probably so far. IFT. Alrighty, so this is probably the last one I do before I head out, but let's just jump right into this. So we start in a flashback. So y'all remember Hank's little informant? It goes by the name of Tortuga.
Yep.
Remember him?
Fun little dude.
Anywho. He's chilling at a just a little restaurant in Mexico, chilling at like a bar, you know, and he gets a birthday present, which is he gets a large tortoise from his boss, and he's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, like, but then they go into like a back room, and basically they write on the back of that tortoise like "Hola DEA," which is like they basically know he's fucking ratting. And then they cut his head off with a machete. So he kind of gets some like backstory to that whole situation with Tortuga.
Yeah, and there was the twins
know?
that did it too.
Yeah. So now we have we're putting the pieces together about who these people are, you know? Anywho, now we're jumping back into New Mexico, Albuquerque. Basically, Mike is kind of doing surveillance on Walt's house, and basically like after the cousins visit, like that's what they're called, the cousins, and basically tells Gus, yo, he's still alive. But Skylar fucking finds out that Walt is inside the house. She comes home and then threatens to call the police, but Walt is like, fuck you, bro, I'm staying, which is crazy.
It was also
Anyway.
Black Air Force energy.
No, seriously. Then Skylar calls the cops and was just like, yo, send officers immediately. Anyway, recalling Saul's advice, which I kind of forget what that is. I think, what was the advice was that just call her bluff because she's not going to do anything or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. Walt just stays calm and is grading school papers when the cops show up, which is kind of funny. Anyway, when Junior pulls up and sees his father, he's kind of like hype, like, dang, you're home. But then when he finds out that Skylar called the cops, he is fucking livid. Anyway, Skylar is like, yo, he's trespassing, but they aren't legally separated yet, so Walt kind of didn't do anything, like, in the eyes of the law. In this situation, Walt hasn't been violent. He's on the lease. He has the right to stay. And then when Skylar is asked by the officer, has Walt broken any laws? She can't fucking answer. She's trying to, but she can't. So Walt wins this one, bro. That's crazy that he called her bluff. I was like, damn, he's playing like mind games on another level. Just kind of crazy.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Goat.
But this part is sad. When it cuts to fucking Jesse just sitting at his empty house calling Jane's old number just to hear her voicemail. Like, fuck. That
Dude,
is
that
so
was
sad, dude. Damn. That's so sad. And then Saul basically comes and says, yo, just you should try to convince Walt to start cooking. And then she's like, okay, I'll try. And then he just goes back to dialing. So basically, like, he basically feels alone. People are only using him for meth. It is sad. No fucking cap. Anyway, Hank reveals that he is wanted back in El Paso. So, but now, wait, what the fuck? This is some crazy cartel shit going down right now. Like, the cousins brought Hector, the Bell guy, to a meeting with Gus. Like this is like the crossover of the century,
dude.
Like, damn. Anyway, he's explaining that we can't basically kill Walt, right? Like is this the part where they say they can't kill Walt because Walt has to do stuff for Gus and basically gives them like, but he's like the kingpin of the cartel. I think his name was Juan Bolsa. He's like, we can delay the revenge, but like he has to die eventually, you know. But Gus is like, don't kill him yet because I need him, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Gus clutching up.
So, no, yeah, seriously, because at least they just be using motherfuckers, bro. Wait, what? This next part? Fuck, what happened next? I think Walt is just, and then Walt is awakened by the cries of his daughter from the master bedroom, and then Walt asks if he can come in and help, but Skylar basically ignores him, and then she's basically given the silent treatment. Then Walt pisses in the sink, which is kind of crazy, honestly. I was like, damn, what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, then it's basically just a silent treatment. Then Skylar gives the divorce lawyer like a rundown, and basically admits that Walt's a meth cook. And then the lawyer is like, just sue for divorce, get the fuck out. You do not want to stay. And then she is reluctant to do that. She doesn't want her son to find out that his father is a criminal when Walt might die from cancer anyway. So she's kind of playing the waiting game. Anyway, basically, at some bar, Hank picks a fucking fight with two dirt balls and then bashing one man's head against the floor, and then identifying himself as DEA. But he left his gun in the car, which is kind of crazy. So Hank is basically just trying to get fucking like, trying to feel something pretty much. You know, he's out here picking fights just to feel something, you know? Anywho. Now we're back. Jesse is still calling Jane's number, and then he finds out that it's no longer in service. Then he's just fucking... He basically lost what he had of Jane, which is insane. Then he takes basically the RV out into the fucking desert and starts cooking. And then... just as a way to like cope, you know, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, Walt like leaves money out just to see if Skylar, and then just so Skylar can see it. And then he asks Skylar if they can talk about it. So now we're getting to some kind of common ground, hopefully, between them. Basically, Hank got cut from the DEA because he's on like probation or some shit. He's like, because he left his gun in the car. He's kind of like the head honcho there is like, are you fucking serious, bro? Take a break. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like we're taking your gun type shit. You know? Just because he kind of fucking did something stupid.
Yeah.
Anywho, Walt reasons with Skylar about this money will put the kids through college, cover the mortgage, and after he's passed away, and that she could never like basically this money is for the family. Skylar this basically keeps on giving him the silent treatment. Anyway, back at fucking the Beneke place.
Oh, dude, it's Liam's favorite part of the whole episode.
This is when basically they start making out, bro. They fucking make out, and then Skylar goes, yo, the kids home? And they smash, bro. They fucking smash, okay?
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. They fucking smash. Anyway, they go back to the house, and Scott and Walt's getting like fucking dinner ready. The Junior and Lewis are chilling, and then Skylar walks in and says, "I fucked Ted," and then called them to dinner. And then Walt is like, "Holy shit! Like what the hell? Like this? Like the 'I fucked Ted' line is insane, bro."
That's actually what the episode stands for. That's how I was reading in the trivia.
True, IFT. There you have it. I fucked Ted.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Damn, bro. What do y'all? What were y'all's initial reaction to that?
Dude, I knew it was gonna
That was-
happen. I knew it was gonna happen at some point or other. I'm like, yep, that's the dude. That's the
Yep, that's it.
Dude, that is too true. Like it.
That's my
it was
least favorite
bound to happen.
character.
yeah, dude, love Ted. Ted's such a great character, guys.
Two
Yeah,
least
Ted is a
favorite
pro- I
characters
agree.
fucking each other? No way.
No way.
So true. But
Oh.
damn, bro, like, dude, it is like imagine that, bro. Like
I will
that's
say,
crazy. Like after you like sacrifice your life doing this meth shit just to get money for the family, and then she fucks she fucks his boss. That's insane. He fucks the boss.
she fucks
Like,
his boss,
that's-
fucks Ted. Or not Ted, sorry.
Wait,
Fucking
wait,
guys.
no, I didn't. You know what? You know what I meant.
No, I'm just kidding. But dude, it's always a W episode though when Hector's in it, dude. Gotta have my bellboy.
Dude, so that's a legend.
Oh, dude,
Legend
they were using the Ouija board too. That was actually
the
so
fucking-
sick.
yeah,
Alter what?
that is so true.
And you dude, and he goes ding 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 ding. He's fucking slamming it.
Ding, ding, ding. That's facts.
Oh, that was a good
But
one.
damn.
Love that guy.
But
What a
that-
gentleman.
That was a crazy episode.
Dude, the facial expressions that Hector makes when when aggressively ringing the bell is like those are the most intense stares of all time.
No facts. Like he is an artist when it comes to facial expressions, bro.
Facts. Bro gets animated as
Really?
hell. It's great.
Do you have to go right now? Oh shit, he already did
Oh.
leave.
All right, he's gone.
Oh, there you are. Do you have to head out now, Gunner?
Copy. Yeah, I probably have to dip. But,
All right.
It was. Thank you guys for having me on for those little 2 episodes I did. But in the future, I'll probably be able to do more. But I just gotta run into work.
No, you're good. You're
Oh, yeah.
good.
No
See-
worries, Chief.
All right, bro. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yo, see you,
Hell
Gunner.
yeah.
Enjoy the podcast. All right. See you guys
Peace.
later.
All right, so now we get to one of my favorite episodes. I actually really like this episode. If it is the one that I think it is, actually, wait, is it? This might not be it. Anyway,
I mean,
so
yeah, like the next 3 anyway, or you get to actually. I got to cover basically an episode, so you can take the next 4 if you want to.
okay, well, I'll just go with that then. Okay, so in this episode, it's called Green Light. So it starts off with the gas station in the desert. Jesse's filling up the RV, and he's kind of short on cash. And so what he does, he goes in, and he's talking to the cashier girl, and she seems like a pretty what would you call it? Like, she seems like a pretty chill person. Like, she doesn't seem like someone that actually would do like hard shit. And Jesse's like, she's like, oh yeah, you should try it, And so she's like, yeah, fuck, my dad's gonna get angry. Sure, I'll try it, whatever. So she takes that as payment, and then Jesse's all good to go. And so then we get into the next part where Kid Named Finger, he visits Saul, and he plays an audio recording to, like, that was pretty much of, like, Walt and Skylar's argument, like, with the thing of Ted. And so Walt heads over to fucking Beneke, and he is pissed, dude. He is not happy. He's like, dude, he does the exact scene from fucking Family Guy that you were talking about, like, years ago. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
I just want to talk to him.
Just want to talk to him. And so that's legit what he's saying. He's like, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. And he's like, the lady's like, oh yeah, he's in a meeting. She literally like goes over to the window. Ted's not doing shit in there. He's like, come on, Ted, open up. I want to talk to you, buddy. I want to talk to you. And so they're all getting freaked out. And he's legit about to throw a fucking plant through the window. And then Skylar's like, yo, chill out. or she's like, she kind of just like, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And so eventually, like, these three dudes go and they just toss Walter out. But
Dude, the receptionist was literally like, "Yo, Mr. Ted's cooking right now." Walt was like, "Nah, he ain't cooking shit.
he
Let
ain't
me in
cooking
there."
shit. And so, like, literally, like, a few seconds later, kid named Finger pulls up in his car, and he just literally just, like, kidnaps Walt and just, like, takes him away. And so they go back to Saul's, like, office, and Saul's like, what the fuck are you doing, Walt? Like, bro. And, like, Walt's like, he's like, how the hell did you know where to find me? And, like, how do you know what the hell's going on? And that's when he kind of realizes that they, like, bugged his house. And so he's kind of pissed off, and Saul's like, yeah, I don't know, sounds pretty fucked what's going on. And so eventually, like, he tackles Saul, and he tells him that he's fired, but, like, I mean, honestly, he's not gonna get fired. Like, you know, Saul's gonna come back. Saul's like, go. They're not gonna just get rid of him like that.
Real.
But, and then he just says, like, yeah, he's not gonna do any more of the money laundering on, like, the website. And so next thing you know, Walt Jr.'s like, yo, the money's not coming in anymore. I don't know if that's in this part, but anyway. Anyway, Mike goes and he removes the bugs from the house. But then as he's, like, leaving, Kid Named Finger notices the drawing of, like, the scythe on, like, the ground near the house, and he's like, oh, fuck. And so they go back to school, and Carmen goes to Walt, and he's like, yeah, we need to talk. And so she's like, yeah, dude, what's going on? Like, you're having some kind of weird behavior, like, you've been missing a lot, like, what's going on? And Walt's, I guess he's kind of just, like, relapsing, or I don't know what the word is, but, like, after the whole thing of, like, Skylar and Mid, I'm not gonna call him Ted, he's Mid.
Oh, real.
Yeah, he just kind of goes for Carmen, and Carmen's like, whoa, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, get off me. And so he gets put on indefinite leave, and, that's when, well, actually, I guess that's when Jesse comes by a little bit later, but Marie goes and she drops Hank off for a flight to go for El Paso, but Hank receives a call that, like, the blue meth, like, reappeared, and so Hank's like, fuck, I gotta get onto this shit. And so he just doesn't go to the trip, and that's when he's getting back onto, like, the duty. But anyway, this is when Jesse comes over, and he's like, yo, Walt, look at this, look, I cooked my own shit. And fucking Walt is not having it. He's like, yeah, you fucked a lot of shit up. Like, this shit's not gonna be good. And, like, Jesse's getting pissed, Walt's getting pissed, and so Walt just, like, kind of storms off, and he had his shit on top of Jesse's car. And, like, right as Jesse's driving away, Walt, like, forgot about his shit on top of the car, and he's like, wait! And then it's been too late, and his shit gets crushed. But anyway, they go back to Mid Factories, right? Or Mid Fabricators, sorry. And there's, like, this coworker that Skylar's kind of having, like, a little bit of small talk with, but she kind of just, like, looks at her and, like, gives her, like, a glare and just, like, leaves. And then later that day, Skylar and Mid smash again at his house. And then Mid asks, like, Skylar what happened with her, like, the marriage, because he doesn't want to make the same mistake as her. And Skylar's like, she doesn't really want to talk about it. I don't want to do this shit. But anyway, then we go back to Hank, and him and Gomez are trying to get the information out of, like, the girl from the gas station, and she's like, I don't know shit, like, this is, like, a one-time thing, and she's, like, you know, being all, like, you know, she's like, you gotta feel bad for her, honestly.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, the guy's name starts with M, which I don't know where the hell she got M from. But anyway, I don't know if that's just something she did to throw him off or what, but so Hank's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm, like, he's getting tired of this shit, and he just goes over there and he starts to look for cameras, and I know, like, he sees, like, one at the top, but it doesn't work anymore. But then he goes and, like, as he's leaving, he realizes there's, like, an ATM thing, and that's when he's like, okay, I'll just or wait, maybe this is a little bit later. I don't know if it was or not. Okay, that was probably a little bit later, but eventually, like, hold on, sorry, I'm getting a little bit lost here. Wait, Hank Gomez attempt to coax information out of a tweaker about the source of the blue meth. Uh, she says something about the M, and then that's when they get to Heisenberg, and then he said he's gonna go to El Paso. Anyway, Jesse goes to Saul and he shows him the meth he's got, and he cooked it himself, and then Walt doesn't want to cook, and so Jesse begins like he kind of just begs him to hook him up with a deal with Gus because he wants to have his own show with Gus and not be with Walt. There we go. I'm a bit more organized now. All right. Anyway, Kid Named Finger meets up with Gus, and they're in a parking lot, and they report that Walt's like fine physically, but like mentally, bro's like fucked. He's not doing well. He's probably not gonna go back to cooking, and so they describe the scythe that's also outside of his house, and Kid Named Finger kind of asks Gus like why like he doesn't want to have like Walter die so soon without his protection. And he says like he doesn't believe that fear is going to be an effective motivator, and so Kid Named Finger kind of relays like Saul's request for a meeting with Jesse, and Gus reiterates his policy against dealing with like junkies, and so he's like, he changes his mind like after he realizes that like him and Walt aren't like together anymore. Anyway, next part, they're following up on like the tweakers thing. Okay, so this is the thing I was already talking about. Yeah, so I'll skip that part because, like I said, Hank knows the ATM camera, and that's when he starts working on that. And so this is when the thing I also said earlier, Junior starts to notice like the SaveWalter.com isn't like getting like any more things, or like they're getting seized. So he suggests that since Walter's like on leave, that his dad can watch Holly because then Skylar doesn't have to bring the baby to work, and Skylar's like, yeah, we'll see about that. And then eventually under like a wait, who is this? Victor. Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't know who the hell Victor is, but anyway, under this bridge or something, Jesse gives like the meth to Victor, and then he complains that he only got one half of the payment, and he says like, yeah, this is your half, and then he's kind of pissed about it. And then like Walt's just driving on his own thing. He's kind of listening to the whole thing that like Gus, or I didn't even realize this. I didn't hear this part of the episode, but apparently Jane's dad, he attempted to like suicide with like a gun, but as he's like kind of like fucked up, he's sitting at a light and he's not paying attention, and then this dude that's like the same dude, Victor, goes over and he's like, yo, this is your half, and he like throws it and then he speeds away. And Walt's like, what the hell? Why do I get this cash? And so that's that whole episode. I feel like it's a pretty good episode. This isn't the one I don't think I thought it was, but it was pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
Yeah, I like all the I always enjoy whenever Saw is just like trying to defend himself on screen. Those are always very, very comical moments.
I like the fact that Kid Named Fingers in this. That's a good one.
True.
No, but trying to think. I don't know. I like this like little progress we're getting on like Hank starting to actually catch up with Walt and Jesse, and so we're getting a little bit of progress. I think, is it the next episode? Where am I at? Moss? I think it is this one. Wait, are we at Moss? Yeah, I think we're at Moss. Okay, so we are on Moss here, and so the beginning of the video, or the beginning of this episode, it's actually a flashback because it kind of threw me off. I'm like, wait, did I like go back or like miss an episode or something? Because like I kind of was like, I don't know. A lot of people in my house have already watched Breaking Bad, and so it kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, hopefully I'm on the right episode. And so it just starts off with like them going back to a little bit around like the same time as like the beginning episode, where like Jesse and his like friends are going to like a strip club, and they're like spending all the money on like lap dances and champagne and shit. And then he's like, oh fuck, I was supposed to get like a RV, and so fucking Combo's like, yo, I got you, and he just kind of steals his family's one. But that's the beginning, and then we're gonna go back to another fucking thing at Mid's house, right? Him and Skylar, after another round of freaking, they go and like Skylar's taking a shower, um, and Ted just like yeah, he offers to let her keep a few things at his house, because he's starting to like actually get like really attached. And in that evening, Walt's just sitting in Holly's closet talking on the phone with Jesse, and Walt just doesn't really believe that like Jesse's working with Gus, because like he's like, yeah, I don't think Gus wants to work with you, dude. You're literally a junkie. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And Jesse's like, dude, Walt, you better give me that fucking other half of the payment, because that's mine. I literally did that shit. And Walt's like, this shit is my formula. I didn't give you permission to use it like by yourself. And I just, as per usual, Walt doesn't ever let anyone like say goodbye, or like he doesn't ever end like a call for goodbye. He just always just hangs up the fucking phone mid sentence. So you do that, and then they're at a campground, and Hank is ignoring Gomez's suggestion to wait for a warrant to search for the RV, and he's like scaling through a bunch of fucking RVs, and he goes to this one, and these older couple are just playing some fucking like card game in their underwear, and they just look up and they see Hank up there, you know, doing his classic Hank smile or something. I don't know if he actually was, but they're just like, get the fuck up, what are you doing? They think he's like some kind of pervert. And so then the police gotta pull up, and they're like, yeah, you can't do that shit, dude. Come on, what are you doing? And so he goes back to shower, and then Marie's like, you know, she's like, yo, you should just kind of like take that promotion that, like, you know, you had like a while ago. And, or like, sorry, I fucked this up. She's like saying like, yo, share your feelings about like how Gomez is taking the promotion that like you refuse. Like, what's going on? And then she's like, she kind of like says like, yeah, you did kind of have like it fucked up back there, but you're only staying in Albuquerque to pursue important leads like the Heisenberg thing. Anyway, so we go back to Los Pollos Hermanos with Walt, and he's like, Gus, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you working with Jesse? And he's like, Gus is like, yeah, no, I'm not working with Jesse. I want you to fucking work for me again. Like, I don't want this mid-ass shit that he's doing. Like, we gotta get you back up on here. And so, he basically is like, yeah, I want you to take a drive with me. And, that's when Skylar gets a call from Marie, and she's, like, worried that, like, Hank's brush with death is, like, causing him to change as a person. And so, Skylar's, like, contemplating on her words of truth. And then that's when they go on their little drive, and this is when Gus shows him the whole fucking crazy lab he's got underneath this, like, laundry factory. And so, Walt's, like, super impressed, but he's like, I don't know, I'm still a family guy. I don't want to be a villain. And,
Family Guy?
yeah, no, he's sort of a family guy. And so, he goes and, like, you know, a man provides. You know, and even when he's not appreciated or respected or even loved, he does it because he's a man. And so he kind of gets like Walt convinced. Anyway, after another thing with Mid, Skylar fixes up her makeup in the bathroom, and then Ted's like, yo, we should get some Thai food, but she's like, no, I'm good. And then she's kind of getting like, I don't know, she's starting to not like it as much. So she just goes, and she's like, she grabs a towel and she stands on it. I guess she's getting uncomfortable with like the luxurious shit he has, but I don't know if that's supposed to be like symbolism that like she doesn't really want to, I don't know, think about the money that Walt's got. I don't really know. I feel like there's supposed to be some kind of symbolism there, but I don't really get
It might be, but I don't get paid enough to care about Skylar White's symbolism.
Fair enough. She notices that Walt's still like being really like caring about like the daughter, and you know, Walt's like, yo, I got it, don't worry. Anyway, back into the DEA office, Hank is like, he's got his final lead, right? He's looking at this last one, and they're doing like a farewell party for Gomez because he's going over to like the new area where Hank was at the beginning. And so eventually they go, and Hank gives him this little statue of like Jesus Malverde, which is like the patron saint of drug dealers, alluding to like to their experiences, and like Gomez is a new thing of El Paso. And during this time, Hank is also like asking like the Lady Janice to like check in to see if there's any more, because like at this point like they've literally checked every single one, and she's like, yeah, actually there was one more, but its registration wasn't renewed, because it was like can't speak English, non-operational, destroyed, or stolen. And so he's like, oh yeah, let's go. We're starting to cook. And so when they're at home, Skylar notices Walt's duffel bag in Holly's closet, finding a pile of drug money inside of it. And that's when she starts to meet with her divorce lawyer again, which I think this is what we were kind of hinting at earlier in the podcast. And she's like, yeah, I found the cash. And her lawyer is like, she asks if she's like looking for permission to keep the drug money, and like warns her that if she becomes an accessory for the fact of like the crime if she doesn't leave Walt. And so she's like, fuck, I better remove this shit. And then after that whole talk that I think well, is either like the Gus talk or like the Saul talk, or maybe both. Eventually Skylar goes back home, and she just sees that like Walt left his divorce papers in like the crib. And so she's like, what? And now she's not sure if she doesn't know how she feels now that she got like what she wanted finally. She's kind of like, it's kind of unsatisfying. So they go back to her office, and Saul's trying to calm down Jesse because Jesse's still pissed about the money. And then when Walt arrives, Saul offers him 10% of like Jesse's future meth profits as a goodwill gesture. And then Walt just turns over half the money that, like, you know, from Jesse's thing. And he's like, yeah, it's the last money you'll ever earn in like the drug business, informing him that like literally Gus just used him to get Walt to cook for him again. And then Saul quickly turns on Jesse and negotiates a fee for laundering the $30 million Walt will earn for Gus. Jesse storms out of the office and he's pissed, and then he throws one of the chunks of concrete that are out sitting in front of like Saul's business and like into fucking Walt's windshield. This is like probably like I don't know if it's the second or third time that his like windshield gets broken. It's like it's happening way too many times.
Bro's getting finessed too hard.
And so they visit the RV, or like the house where the RV was registered, and it was like originally for Combo's mom's house, and she said it was like she never reported it stolen because like she knew that like her son had it. So she's like, yeah, it's whatever. And like Hank does a little looking, and he sees that Combo was good friends with Jesse, and like they see the picture from the very beginning of the episode, and so he's like, it's the fucking Pinkman kid. And now we get to probably one of my favorite episodes. Here we go. This is the one I've been waiting for. I think it's this episode. Yeah. This episode and the next two are so fucking like heat. Holy shit. I think that is the next two episodes, and then you got everything else, right?
Let me double check. I think so, yeah. No.
No?
Actually, yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
We're on Sunset now, right?
Yeah, we are on Sunset. So, on a Indian reservation outside of Albuquerque, a tribal police officer is dispatched to, hold on one second. Sorry about that. So we're looking, and we're in front of a Indian reservation, and a police officer has to look and... Oh, actually, no, I do remember this part. Okay. They're, like, looking for this lady. They keep calling her name. They're like, yo, where are you at? Where are you at? And then they look, and they're like, oh, fuck. I found her body. And next thing he knows, like, as he's calling backup, one of the cousins, like, coming out of the house, and he's like, don't move. Don't move. And right behind him is the one with the axe, and then, like, bro got fucked over. I don't know if there's anything too important other than like, oh yeah, the cousins are scary, but that's the beginning of that episode. And then Skylar calls Walt like to kind of talk about like divorce papers, and Skylar's like, I don't want you to use that drug money to pay for child support. Because like the whole thing like the lawyer said about being an accessory to that shit, but Walt's like, yeah, he's already been using that money, so why I don't really see why it matters. Like they're already in this situation, they can't get themselves out of it. And so Walt's looking for a condo, and he finally finds one. He sees this one where like the dude's like, yeah, this is like a model one, and Walt's like, I have the money, I want this one. And so he's like, okay, and he gets that one. He buys everything with that. And then next thing you know, the cousins go to Los Pollos Hermano, and Gus just kind of watches as they sit down in the booth and they just don't order anything. Which, damn, they got the money. I don't know why they're not ordering shit. But anyway, they go back to Jesse's house, and like, he's got more of that blue meth. And dude, the goats come back for this episode, bro.
The goats.
Dude, Badger and Skinny Pete, they come
yes,
back.
Yes, sir.
And they're like, yeah, we might rejoin you in the business. And so he proposes that they're gonna get like Badger's cousin to like fix up the RV, while Skinny Pete's like, he's getting all the supplies. So they depart, but they have no clue Hank's watching them from like the SUV. And then Hank recognized Badger, and he's like, "Aw, dude." He's like, "I got this in the bag, dude." And so Walt drives Junior, and he's like, he's so upset about like the divorce happening. He's like, "Why is this shit happening?" And Walt's not really saying shit. But anyway, Gus finally goes over, and like at this point, like the other people that are working in the restaurant, they're like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with these dudes? Why are they still sitting here? Like they've been sitting here all fucking day." And so the manager goes over to Gus, and they're like, "Are you gonna do something about this?" And like he's like, "They're not doing anything wrong. Just leave them be." But he does seem really annoyed that they're there. And so now we get to fucking Walt going to his first day in the new lab. And it would be probably the most boring fucking character, dude. Oh my god, dude. We meet Gail, who's his new assistant. And this dude is like the worst, like, boring partner ever, dude. Oh my god. Bro ain't got shit on Jesse.
Real, not fake.
And so Jesse's like going on about, or not Jesse, Gail's going on about all this fucking nerdy shit that he learned. He's like, actually, I went to college and I learned about this, and this, and like, him and Walt are like bonding for a bit. But like, bro, I'm gonna be so honest. I feel like me and probably a bunch of other people are probably like, bro, we don't fucking care, dude. We don't care.
And so Blood thought he was cooking.
Blood thought he was cooking, yeah. And so as this is going on, Hank's still sitting outside of like Jesse's house waiting for like him to do shit. And that's when he receives a call from Maria, and she's like, "When are you coming home?" And he's like, "I'm gonna stay here until Jesse gets him to that RV or like does some shit that's illegal." And then he remembers that like at one point he sold like pot to Walt, and so he's like, "Yeah, no, this dude is like sus as fuck." And so Marie suggests Hank to talk to him on like the grounds that he might know something. And then when Hank calls Walt and starts to explain his theory that the RV is being used in the Mobile F Lab, Walt kind of starts to realize that like Hank is closing on Jesse. And so he starts trying to call Jesse, but hangs up before speaking out of fear because he like, he doesn't know if he's getting tapped or not. And so he calls Saul and tells him that like Hank knows about the RV, and he's like, yeah, dude, all that shit is in there. Like, even if I'm not working with Jesse anymore, my fucking evidence is in there that I was with the shit. And so Saul tells Walt to get rid of the RV, but like Walt's like, he doesn't know what to do next. And so he goes over to the like repair yard where Clovis is at, and he just like tells him and Badger, he's like, "Yo, get rid of that RV." And then like Badger's like, "Bro, the fuck, you got your money, like what are you talking about?" And Badger's like, I think Walt and like Clovis like kind of just walk off, but Badger calls like Jesse, and he's like, "Yo, dude, they're trying to get rid of your van." And fucking Jesse gets so pissed. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he leaves and he speeds off over there. And then little does he know, Hank's just literally trailing right behind him. And then like Gus finally gets pissed off and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Fine. You want to talk? Let's meet like at this place during sunset." Which episode title? There you go.
Real.
And so they finally get to a junkyard, and that's when they start doing this like whole demolition of the RV. And apparently the dude's name is Old Joe. He's like, "Yo, Walt, this vehicle will be destroyed and recycled, and like you won't have any evidence left behind." And so that's when Jesse comes over, and he's like, "What the fuck, Walt? What are you doing, dude?" And Jesse's like, Walt's like, "Dude, get the fuck in here. We aren't doing this shit." And so they hide in the RV, and that's when Hank finally pulls up, and Walt's like yelling at like Jesse through the door. He's like pounding through the door, and that's when Old Man Joe is like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing on this like property? Like you need to have like a probable cause. You need like a warrant and shit." And like they get all argued over whether it's like a legal or like not a legal vehicle, because like whether it's like a vehicle or a home, like depending on how it's being used. And so they're having this whole argument, and then that's when Hank rips off the duct tape, revealing the bullet holes. And he's like, "Yeah, there was a firearm that was discharged," and it gives him a probable cause to search it. And so Jesse or Walt like kind of tells Jesse what to say, and so Jesse's like, "Yeah, how did you know they were there?" or something like that. Like, how would he have known that beforehand? And then he's getting even more pissed, and so Hank walks back to his car and he starts calling the ASAC market to like pretty much get like a search warrant. And so that's when they get the idea to call Saul. You know, better call Saul.
Real.
And so they get someone to call Hank, right? Better call Hank. You know, next new spinoff. And they get this lady to go and like call as like as a police officer, and they call Hank and they're like, "We have a very bad news to deliver to you. Your wife Marie, she's been in a car accident. She's being lifted to the hospital." And Hank's like, he's scared shitless because he's like, "Oh my god, I've been fucking neglecting my wife this whole time." And so he's like, and obviously it's his wife too. And so he just speed runs out of there. Oh, we also skipped the part where Jesse literally says like, he just calls Hank a bitch. I forget what he says, but he's like, he says something that Walt tells him, and he just adds bitch then. It's just kind of funny.
Love that guy.
And so, after he leaves, like, finally they can go and destroy the RV, and so that's what they do. And it's like that one scene from that one anime where they all are like watching the ship get destroyed. I'm not gonna say which anime, because I mean I'm sure you guys know what anime it is, but
Real.
it's just like that one anime. But anyway, so they watch that get destroyed, and eventually Gus and the cousins meet up, and they kind of just like talk about how they got to get rid of Walt and they want to kill him, and like, it's like, Walt may have been the one that betrayed their cousin Tuco, and then someone else pulled the trigger, and then the cousins are like, saying the DEA agents are off limits to them, and then Gus replies the north of the border is his territory, so he's like, "Yeah, that's all your territory right here," and he gives him permission to kill Hank. And that's this episode. Very good episode. I enjoyed this episode a lot. Very fun. Very good episode.
Dude, yeah, the fucking thing when they call and talk about Marie was like so fucking big brained.
That was so smart. I didn't even that was so fucking good. I really like this episode. Very good. Very good. And then we get
Hell
to
yeah. I was also thinking, so you have not finished season 3 yet. We could let you finish it and do like a half and half, like, because it's 14 episodes to a season. If I do the next one, that puts us at 7, and then we'll have 7 episodes we'll just split the season in half basically, because we're at about an hour and a half right now, and I have 2 more episodes until I get to the Fly episode.
Okay.
All right, word.
So
All right.
You want to do these next 2 episodes then?
Yeah, I'll do. Wait, I want to see if it's. I forget if it's 14 episodes this season or if it's 15. I think it's 14.
I think it's 13, isn't it?
Oh, it's 13. Okay, well then I can just because I have a long rant about Fly, so I don't wanna, because I have also not had dinner yet, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Okay.
Bro, feasting. I don't wanna be eating at like 7:30 or something, talking about a Fly episode.
All right.
Um, but and then that way I'm also not gonna spoil anything for you with it.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so all right, next episode follows us. We got a little bit of a flashback, which I actually think that this is a pretty interesting. Like, it's a pretty. It's actually I think this is the first time we see young Hector. Um, like we see like a younger like Hector who's able to speak and not down like tied down by like like whatever. I'm guessing it's just the like old age. I don't really know exactly what like if there's like a specific disease or anything that that he suffers from, but yeah, basically he's talking to the two twins who are now currently trying to assassinate Hank. Um uh and the two of them, one of them has a toy and isn't sharing it, or I'm sorry, it was broken. And then he's like, "Oh man, I wish that my brother was dead." And then Hector's like, "Yeah, you wish he was dead?" And then he's like, "All right, come on, bitch, get over here." And then the other brother gets over there and he slams this dude's head in a tub of icy water. And he's like, "All right, you really want him dead? Then do nothing about me killing him." And then makes the other brother like uh save his brother from dying because Hector was gonna kill him, and pretty much just goes like family is everything. So like it was very fucked, but like is a strong way to kind of teach that, like to not say like I wish my brother was dead. It was a very 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 strong way of saying that. And then we go back and then kind of fades away, fades back into the future, and they got a photo of one Hank Schrader. Which, speaking of Hank Schrader, we zoom back in. Dude is pissed. Dude is very pissed about being tricked that his wife was in the hospital. So the dude goes right to Jesse Pinkman's house, opens up his door, and punches the dude in the face and knocks him the fuck out. And then he was like, "Oh shit, I have gone way too." Oh wait, no, I don't think he just punches him once. I think he like tackles him and like just beats the shit out of him or something like that.
Bro did not do the Will Smith.
Yeah, bro does the full blown Will Smith into the Bam Pow. Anyway, paramedics come swoop up my man's Jesse. Like something that I've noticed is that like Jesse does a lot of shit. Like Jesse suffers the consequences of so many things that like he's not like inherently responsible for. Like, I mean, technically, I mean, because Walt was, I mean, yes, it was Jesse's fault that, like what I'm saying, it wasn't Jesse's idea that, to call and say that his wife was, in the hospital. And it also wasn't, like, Jesse's fault that Jane died in the airplane crash and all that stuff. Like, there's so much shit that happens that Jesse gets tormented for. That's, like, not his fault. I feel so fucking bad for this character. But anyway, comes in. Hank is like, oh, shit. And then Walter White and Saul come in, join Jesse at the hospital, check to see how he's doing. And then, Jesse's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck that man's life up. I'm gonna goose him up. I'm gonna ruin this man's whole fucking career. And then Walt's like, well, that's not fucking good. And then Walt's basically like just kind of like playing it safe. He's like, shit, I'm just gonna plead the fifth for this one. The case is just kind of going as it is. And then Skylar visits Walt at his new apartment. And she's like, is there any way that you can, stop Hank from facing these charges? Is there something that you can do? I know that you know this Jesse guy and stuff. And then I think that Walt performs like one of his like most big brain plays of all time here. Something that I've noticed about like Walter, and this is like I've gotten mixed, like, from what I've seen, there's a lot of mixed feelings about him in the community. Well, oh, excuse me. It's not exactly that there's mixed feelings. I feel like the normie fans, like, the people who, like, have watched Breaking Bad, but, like, also watch, like, The Office only and, like, shit like that, like, watch Breaking Bad for entertainment, they don't like Walter White. Because, like, they think he's, like, a dick and, like, he's prideful, which, like, yeah, he is, but, like, they don't really think about the lovable traits about him. But, like, he could have said, like, yeah, Skylar, I'll get him out. I'm gonna be the best. Like, he's in turmoil with his wife right now, and he could say, he could say something that, like, would make her feel better about the situation, but he doesn't. He, like, just says, this isn't my response. Like, I don't know what I can do. Like, he says, I don't know what I can do, but then proceeds to act. And I think that somebody like that is much more noble and, like, a lot more respectable than somebody who says that they'll do something and then doesn't. So, like, call him what you want, but my dude's a goat, and he comes up with a goated-ass plan. So, basically, he tells Gale that he's a bozo, that he's not cooking, he gets no bitches, cope plus L plus ratio plus shut the fuck up plus never talk to me again. And then he's like, Gus, get this fucking loser out of my city. Get him out of my cook. He's not Gus. Gale ain't cooking shit.
He ain't.
You know who is cooking shit though, Gus? My boy Jesse Pinkman. And then Gus is like, all right. He might be cooking. And then Walt's like, Jesse's like pretty much almost as good as me. Gale ain't shit. Gale's a fucking hoe. And then basically Hank gets, like, his gun taken away. Oh, excuse me. Hank gets his gun taken away. And goes out. He's like, shit, well, gotta get out of here. No longer a police officer for the time being. Gun's gone. All the shit, all his gear's gone. And then the dude walks on out. He's chilling. He's in his SUV. And then somebody calls him up on the hit phone, give him a quick ring, and then dude's like, hey, yo, someone's about to fucking kill you. And then he's like, what the fuck? Yo, you're about to get fucking killed. Hank Schrader, it's me, Hank Schrader. You're gonna get killed. It's definitely Rick Sanchez, by the way, guys. But yeah, anyway, someone calls him and then tells him he's about to fucking die. And then someone just starts blasting. And it's the fucking twins. They're coming. They're here to kill him. And basically, so one's behind his car and one is on, like, the driver's side. He rams into the fucking dude behind, one of the twins behind the car, and then steals his gun, and then just fucking goes crazy. The other one, on his way out of his vehicle, I think he gets, like, shot in the ass or something like that. I think he gets like 3 or 4 bullet wounds, and then basically he gets, like, knocked out. Like, not knocked out, but, like, shot down. Like, I think he has, like, 3 or 4 bullet wounds. And then, the one twin is literally, like, caught between, like, his car, Hank's car, and another person's car. Dude is, like, fucking about to die. And then the other one, shoots Hank down. He's got, like, 3 bullets in him. He's like, shit, bro, that's, like, fucking, that's fucking too easy. Goes to his car, grabs an axe. And during this time, Hank, like, loads a bullet into his pistol, fucking pops a cap right into the dude's head, and then collapses.
Oh, and don't forget that the bullet that he uses is the one that the, like, fucking dude is, like, the dude that was selling them the shit. It's, like, that crazy, like, test bullet that they had.
That's, like, it was, like, a hollow point, one of those hollow point ones, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, his head gets fucked up.
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, fucking Hank is crazy, though. Like,
Hank's got skills, bro.
Hank kind of fucking finesses. I'm not gonna lie, that dude kind of goes fucking crazy. But I guess before we break off, should we, like, just give, like, general, like, maybe, like, I'll try to speak as close as I can from, like, this point, like, speaking as if I only was, like, halfway through season 3. Top 5 characters. And just like a general thought on the series thus far.
My top 5 characters, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta think about this. So in F tier, we got fucking Ted, midhead. You got Skylar, and then we go to, I don't know. Actually, I'll do actual like legit top 5 though. I would say like I don't really have an order for them to be honest, but like you've got Saul. I would say Jesse, Walt Jr. I really like Badger. I think Badger's
True.
pretty. I still think Badger's like the Steve Harrington of this, so I
Real.
still say him. And then I don't know. Like I don't know. I do want to say Walter, but like I don't know. I'm starting to not really like Walter as much to be honest. And like at this point, like I don't know, Walter's still like a badass, but like I don't really like. I don't know. I don't really care for him as much. I'd say Gale. Probably Gale. No, no, fucking. If you imagine, I actually meant Gale. Yeah, dude, mid forgettable
Gale.
character.
Gus.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm starting to like Gus. He's very interesting.
Oh, I thought you meant Gus.
No, I'd say Gus would probably be in there. Like he'd probably be number 5 if anything. Like 'cause I think he's really interesting. He's really like secretive. He's really smart.
Yeah.
He's like the last person you expect to have this fucking crazy business. So I'd say probably Gus in like 5th place. I'd probably put Badger in like 4th. Walt Jr. in 3rd. And then I'd say Saul and Jesse are really tied. So probably somewhere around there.
Understandable. I think for me at this point, my number one. I think my number one was still Walter, and I think that no matter how bad he gets, like no matter how much of a dick he gets, he kind of exudes the same kind of Eren Yeager vibes for me. Like no matter how much fucked shit he does,
Oh.
I just kind of vibe with him. That's I get why people don't like him, or not don't like him, but like don't like him as much. But like I just really fucking vibe with him. I just love his character.
I changed my mind. Switch Badger to 5th place, and instead of it being Gus, it's Hank. I don't know how I forgot Hank. He's literally in the fucking picture that I have for the podcast. So I'd say Hank is probably number 4. My bad. Anyway, but go on.
Respect that. I think that my 2 at this point was probably Hank. Actually, Hank was kind of going crazy during this part of the show. 3 would be probably Jesse. 4 was Saul. And 5 was 5 is tough. It's like a difficult one. It's probably Gus, to be honest. It was either Gus or, just because of the funny, fucking Huel.
Huel?
Yeah, Huel. The fucking fat dude, fat guy with Saw.
I haven't met him yet.
Oh, I thought he was pretty important, but they're not important. But like I thought he was like in it more by this point. Then it was probably Gus at this point. I'm guessing.
Huel probably gets introduced by like the end of this season.
Probably, yeah. He's probably
I still
made
have
more
not met
important.
him.
Saul's more important.
But yeah, guys, that's everything for today. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do the rest of like season 3 next week, or do you want to do it with part 4 or season 4? I mean, like, it doesn't really matter. We can do it either way.
I'm cool. I mean, depending if we kind of keep like we kind of got pretty crazy with them synopsis this week. I guess it just depends on like how long we go into each of the breakdowns. I'm not really I mean, that'll also give you some time to catch up and stuff like that. As long as we don't just keep nailing it out one season at a time, we can kind of talk more about the episodes. Because like once we hit season 5, we're not gonna be able to talk about all of season 5 in one episode. There's just no way.
Yeah, no, the reason why I was like going on a bit longer and like reading it a lot more is because like for like the past few ones on that website, I honestly was literally just reading off like what it said for that episode, that right there, instead of actually clicking like the whole like page for the episode.
Word.
So that's why mine were kind of like brief like the last few times. So honestly, I'll probably just do like a mix of both from like now on, just so I'm not going on a bit too long. Like,
I think it's good to talk about it a little more. It gives us kind of more like gives people some depth like to the situation and like lets them know like, you know, hey, what are we thinking about it thus far? Because I mean, like, I also did go off. I got to go off my Skylar White rant too, which made me so happy, dude. I fucking hate that character so much.
But yeah, guys, that is pretty much everything we've got for this week. Expect either half of, well, I mean, the other half of season 3 is going to be next week for sure. I don't know if we're going to do season 4 or not. Depends on where I catch up to, but yeah, that's what we got for this week. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, feel free to drop a like, subscribe if you want to the fuck am I saying? If you want to keep up with the podcast, and yeah, that's pretty much everything I got. Do you got anything to say, Liam?
No, I'm chilling.
Alright, guys, well, that's going to be it for today's episode. So, until next time, see you guys later.
Peace.